Hello everyone and welcome. If you're new here, I'm Mari and today we're going to be planting my 3 GreenStalk planters using the GreenStalk Journal. GreenStalk was kind enough to gift me the journal, but before I start I want to let you know that GreenStalk is actually having a sale again. Lots of you were interested when they had the sale last month, so now they're having a sale for Valentine's Day and it's a buy one get one 60% off sale. So they haven't had a sale like this in about a year, I think, to get a great offer to buy 2 planters, and it's a really good opportunity to get a couple more if you are interested, if you want to grow your garden this year too. But the sale is going to be with all planters, and I think it also includes the inventor bundle, and by the time that I'm making this video all of the colors are still available, including the limited colors like the ones that I have, the pink and the brown, so that's a great time to get those if you like. You can also stack my code to get $10 off the promo if you like. So for example, if you buy a 5-tier original planter for $149 and you add a second one, the next one is going to be priced at $59.60 and you could apply my discount for an extra $10 off. So that's a good deal if you want to, again I said, expand your garden this season. Okay, now let's talk about the plants. I have got here my seedlings that I'm planning to grow on a couple of my GreenStalks too, so you can kind of have a visual. So I'm going to start, actually before I get to the planting map, I'm going to start putting this information here. So we're in New York City, this is on 7B. The last frost is on April 1st. And my first frost is supposed to be November 14th, I believe. Usually comes later than that, but it's just good to have it here. And then you could use the calendar if you like to. We're gonna skip that today. We're gonna go straight to planning and go to our planting map. So my first planter, the leaf planter, is going to be planted with cool season crops, and I have had great success planting greens and herbs on them. Here is some lettuce, and I have more than 1 seedling per cell, and some of them I'm going to leave it all together like this to use as baby greens. And I like to plant them all over the place, not like in one line for one thing. I just think the planter looks nicer that way. I'll put a picture of how my planter looked in here for the past couple years. And putting a mix of colors also kind of really help with making it beautiful. So I like to plant this purple lady bok choy in there also. And then for more interest, I have been growing this salad saver mix from Hudson Valley Seed Company. As you can see in here, there are many textures and colors within the mix. So I have some red streaks Mizuna. This leaf needs to be pruned. They're a little thirsty to water my seedlings, but this, I forgot the name, Tokyo Benkana, I think, grows with really light green, so pretty, almost looks like the green of the lettuce here. And then these other guys are bok choy and tatsoi. I think there's some arugula in there too. I don't see any arugula seedlings on this tray, but it's part of the mix also. These guys, because they're looking so nice on this tray, I'm planning to just plant them all like this, all together. There is one here that I'm seeing right now. This Mizuna is single. She's by herself. Mostly, I want to keep this as a mix to harvest them as they're young and tender. And all of these are Asian greens, and they taste great either raw or cooked. So that's why I love growing this mix. So for 1 planter for my leaf, it's going to be those guys. See if I can hold them all up. Plus this. And some of this over here, but only the dark green ones, not the beads. And then on my 2 other originals, I'm going to do one with cool season crops and another one with warm season crops. In the past, I have started most of my GreenStalks with cool season, and then when it got too hot for them, because it does get hot here in New York City, very hot and humid, many of these plants don't really like that, and they will start going to flower or bolting. Then I planted something else after, but by the time in summer I'm kind of busy. I don't amend the planters very well, and I feel like they don't grow to the potential that they can grow. So what I decided to do this year is to reserve one of my planters for these warm season crops, and I'm going to dedicate it for peppers. I'm thinking that I'm going to do the brown with the brassicas, and I'm going to reserve the red for my peppers. So for the brown, the original, the one with longer pockets, it has 5 tiers and you can plant bigger stuff on them. These are the seedlings that I want to plant. So I have broccoli in here, cauliflower and dino kale. I have to separate these seedlings. I was gonna do it last weekend, I didn't have time, but I'll try to get it done soon. And I'm gonna use what I have in here to put in the planting map too. But basically this little tray is going to fill most of my GreenStalk with the beads that are And here on this tray, they're just coming up, so they look a lot smaller than everybody else. But I'm planning to do a purple broccoli, cheddar cauliflower, dino kale, and bull's blood beets. So that's going to be that. And we're gonna plant these two first, so we stay a little bit on track. And after I finish planting those two, we're gonna talk about the one that I'm going to grow my peppers. Okay, so we're gonna start here with my leaf planter. So I have here, this is my GreenStalk number 1, this is 7 leaf tiers. I have some things that comes back on those planters as well. So I have some perennials, some lemon balm chives on this first set here. We're gonna use this whole page, and I'm going to leave a bottom tier open for flexibility. So we're just gonna plant 6 tiers of my leaf planter now. So one is lemon balm here, and I'm actually going to put everything inside here. And the date planted, I'm only gonna put this in once I plant them, because that can change depending on weather. You can have a plan, but then the week that you planted to put out it's too cold, you might want to hold off for another week. So I'm only gonna write this once I actually physically plant them. But let's say, so I want to make sure I have enough color and interest and contrast. So let's say number 2 here, I put a lettuce. Number 3, let's do a bok choy. Number 4, let's do a mix, one of those guys mix, so the savor mix. Number 5, let's do another bok choy. I have 6 bok choys, so I like to plant them on the top because I think it looks pretty. They have very pretty purple color, so I like looking at them. And then this 6 here, let's leave it open for flexibility. I like to do that because, you know, sometimes things happen and you want to change things around. So I'm going to leave one open each tier. You don't need to do that, you can plant them all if you want. So tier 2, I have chives, and I actually also have some oregano growing in there. So let's do, I don't want to put lettuce and lettuce in the same, so let's do lettuce now on the 5 just for color, and then bok choy here on the 6, and then let's do the salad savor here, and then leave the 3 open. So now tier 3, I only have 3 bok choys left, which is great. I have 6, so I have 2 on this tier, 1 on this tier. I'll do 1 on this tier. I'll do bok choy on 2 right now, and we'll do the, let's do lettuce here. But see, it's simple. You don't need to also actually follow this. You can always know when you plant it, but it's just good for you to plan and count the things that you already have. And then I would do, which I haven't done yet, a shijimisai. Oh, sorry, shijimisai, not that, sorry. Which is, so I'll do that here on tier 3. And we're gonna do the mix. Let's do the Mizuna, that solo Mizuna here. So now let's go to this one. So this tier 2, 3, 4, approaching the bottom. So the bottom, you can plant a bit of bigger plants if you want. I'm planting on the same things, but usually you wanna plant your smaller plants on the top and you're bigger in the bottom, so the things on top don't shade the bottom ones. So tier number 4, we're gonna do salad savor here, and I'm gonna go ahead and already put it on tier 5 also, on 6. I have one more. Let's do the salad savor here on the 4. Doing this was a little bit faster. I already used 4 bok choys in here. I have 2 left. So I want to do bok choy here and bok choy. Let's do on 4, just for interest. And then lettuce. I think I'm going to separate some of my lettuce and leave the ones that I want to get to full head down here. So lettuce. I might have a little extra, but that's fine. What else do I have? Shijimisai. That one. I can also separate shijimisai, and I'll do in here shijimisai. Okay, so let's just repeat the lettuce here because I can separate them, right? And the lettuce here. That's it. That's kind of helpful because I can count what I have here and then kind of put it in paper and see if I have enough. In this case, I have just enough, which is great. And I still have one layer that is open, but that could be fill up really easy with my leftover seedlings as well. So moving on to the second planter. This is going to be GreenStalk 2, and this one's going to be original. So I have 5 tiers on my original, and I'm going to put these guys on the side. It's easier to see. This one's going to be these babies. and these beets. This is tier number 1, so it's the top. 2, 3, 4, oops, almost 4 to 5 in there, and 5. So I'm actually going to start backwards with this one. I'm going to start with the bottom because the cauliflower, in my experience, is going to get bigger than the broccoli. So in the bottom here, I'm going to put 2 cauliflowers, and I'm going to leave this one open here for something smaller like a herb or a flower. I'm thinking that I'm going to put a pansy in here because I think it will look nice. Okay, I'm going to leave the whole back of this planter empty, because this original planter here, I don't plan to rotate it very much. I want to give the best conditions for these guys to grow. I would rather have 2 really big cauliflowers than maybe have 3 medium ones. But if you're okay with having 3 or 4 medium, go ahead and put some more in there. But even though I'm not going to plant this, because I'm watering through the middle, using the watering system, the roots can all go in here and take advantage of this extra space. That's what I'm going to do with the bottom tier with the bigger plants. So let's do the same thing with the cauliflower here. I have 4 cauliflower plants and I want to interplant them so they're not on top of each other when I stack it. So I do have a snapdragon in there. That's not going to take too much nutrients, I think. So the snapdragons are going to be there in the back on the tree, and then I can have these 2 like that. And it's good because my sun kind of comes this way, so I get sun on this side and here gets shaded. So these 2 I'm just going to leave as is. Now moving on to 4, since I have cauliflower in 2 and 6 here, I'm going to put cauliflower on 1 and on 5. Let's see. Then I'm going to do flower again. I decided which one, and I want to do a beet in here actually. Beets would be planted mostly on the top because they're small, but I'll see if I can put 1 only here. Very nice. Then moving on to top tiers here. Now I'm gonna get my broccoli. You know, I'm gonna try to put a broccoli between those 2 cauliflowers and see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't do bad. All my cauliflowers are taken. So now moving on here, I'm gonna put 2 more broccoli on top of the cauliflower. So on top of 1 and 5, I want broccoli. I have 4 broccolis also. Oh, let me see actually how many germinated. This is my broccoli. I have, oh, actually 3 and 3, amazing. I have 6 broccoli. Perfect. So 2 broccolis in here, and 1 here. I still have 3 more. So on this tier, I'm gonna do a broccoli on number 2, broccoli on number 6, and I'll do 1 broccoli on top here, surrounded by kale. I think broccoli and kale looks nice together. This one actually, and then I'm gonna do beet. I wanted to bring some more color to this, so I'll try to do a beet here. I have how many beets? 4, 5, oh, 8. Well, I have a lot. Okay, great. So I can separate those little guys here, or I can leave them together. But then if I put 1 beet per tier, I think that would look nice. So let's do a beet in between the broccolis. Very good. And I have a bunch of kale still, so let's do kale here, kale here. Kale got big too, but if I keep cutting it, maybe it won't overtake so much. It kind of gets tall, so it's good to put in the bottom too. Then if I have enough seedlings, so I have 6 in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's great. I'm going to leave those 2 either to give it away to a friend or put in a different planter, or if I decide, plant it back in here. But it's good to have some flexibility, leave some space for these plants to actually get to its full potential. Let's say you really don't have space and you really want to plant more stuff in here. I would put like herbs like chives in here, or another pansy that's edible, or nasturtium that's very beautiful, also edible. I love the flavor. And alliums, like putting in like green onion or chives in there is good too, because they kind of repel pests and they have a strong scent. That's very good to companion plant them around as well. I have chives on here on my leaf planter. Maybe I'll plant some green onions in here, or maybe even some thyme, or if mine germinate, or oregano. We'll see. But let's leave it open. Some flexibility is always good when you're planting. But the core things of my planter that's going to make it look very nice are going to be here. I could even put some peas in here if I wanted, like a pea or a pea, and have the plant support and have them vine around the kale and the broccoli. That would look pretty nice. maybe it's an idea, maybe that could happen. But okay, those are the 2 of my green stalks all planted. Isn't it cool that one tray like this can already fill 2 of my big vertical planters? So you don't need so much space, you know, you could have just one of this growing, then you could fill all of the things up. So that's very, very nice. This is my herbs that haven't really germinated yet. Only the oregano that stays is still tiny. This is a tiny seedling there. All right, moving on to peppers. Oh, there's something I forgot. There's a couple things that I want to put in the GreenStalk too, which are those radishes. See, the good thing that we kept those things open, because now I could just stick some radish seeds in there and also have that as a crop. So that's great. I'm not gonna write that there, but could I have those seeds in here? I have to direct sow them. I'm actually gonna try to keep them together with this guy so I remember, but they are very fast crop. This is one, the French breakfast radish matures within only 28 days, like within a month. And these guys are probably 45, not too long either. So I can take them out before the plants get too big and need more nutrients, so that's good. All right, moving to warm season now, to the tropics where I'm from, the stuff that I grew up with. All right, so here are some peppers. I have gone through all of this, not this one, all of this on one of my planning videos, the one that I go through all of my seeds. So I'm just going to briefly show the ones that I'm going to plant in there. I have 5 varieties of Brazilian peppers that I want to plant, but they're mostly small. And there's one that I didn't show in there because I didn't have the seeds with me at that time, but I talked about it in another video. I also want to plant this corbace pepper, which is a sweet pepper and is very pretty and long, and I think it will add very nice interest to the planter too. And GreenStalk also sent me a little bit earlier this Scotch bonnet, which I also did not talk about in my planning video, but I'm telling you, flexibility is important, and I think I am going to grow that there as well, because I got a bunch of sweet peppers from Brazil and there's not many hot ones other than this, and I don't want to make hot sauce, so planting some Scotch bonnet, it's going to be really good. I have then, how many varieties? 7 varieties of peppers to be grown on my GreenStalk. I might even stick a jalapeno in there, why not? I'm planning to do some jalapenos in the plot, but if I have space. So, planter number 3, warm season. Right before I dive in, let's just talk about planting times really quick. Just so, cool season crops, I'm in Zone 7B, New York City. I have mild winters, raining with a lot of moisture, have a lot of rain, not a lot of snow, and my springs get hot too fast. So it's pretty cold all the way into April, but as soon as May hits, it kind of turns a switch sometimes and gets really hot. From my previous experience of growing here for 3 years, these guys here don't really like that. In my backyard, south-facing backyard, that I get lots of sunlight, they start bolting in May. Usually in May is when they will just become bitter and start sending flower stalks and just like not taste very good. If I'm lucky, I can have them into June. So I like to plant them super early. In the past I have planted them in March. Now I'm thinking to plant it now in February because I have a frost cover. I have a way to protect them, so I can harvest them from even longer before May or June hits. To be honest, I could harvest them at any time. If I wanted to have baby greens, I could cut them off like this and they would keep like growing small, or let them get a little bit bigger. And that way I can just have more harvests all the way into May. If you haven't started your cool season crops yet, it's fine. You can still start them from seed now. You can still start them even outside from seed in March. The only thing that's going to happen is you might not harvest them for so long. But this is my unique microclimate here because I have a south-facing, very sunny backyard. If you have a north-facing backyard on the other hand that gets lots of shade, those guys are gonna do well, probably well into June, maybe into July. I don't know, depends on specific conditions, but it's cool to give it a try. So if you have a north-facing backyard, a front yard, a little balcony, you can start them out a little later and then just enjoy your harvest for a little longer. I'm planting them as early as I am here, just because for me they get bitter and they bolt very soon. But it's not too late. Try it out, plant some greens and get some nutritious homegrown greens for a couple weeks. It's already worth it. With the broccoli and cauliflower, for instance, now that's a little bit trickier. It's a little bit harder to grow. I have had many failures and a couple successes with them because it just takes a lot longer to mature, and also they do not like when it gets too hot. So I tried to plant them too late, I think, in the past seasons, and they just didn't do very good. The cauliflower mostly. Broccoli I have had more luck. It was just not a good ideal condition, you know. I think that now I do want to plant them early because they take longer to mature and they really like it cold. They also are very, very, very cold hardy. This you also learn with time. It was hard for me to figure this out, and I'm still not, you know, an expert. I'm hopeful that by planting them this early, planting them this in February, we'll have beautiful broccoli and cauliflower to harvest. Hopefully by June and latest by July. So that's the cool season crops, okay? The warm season crops, on the other hand, my peppers, they don't like to grow in the cold. They actually are very sensitive to the cold. They prefer to grow when it's hot outside. So for them, the best time is May. When you get those warmer temperatures and nights are not so cold anymore, that's when the peppers will really thrive outside. For these guys, I'm only putting them out in May when my nighttime temperatures are going to start to average 50 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, let's get into the planting now. Planter number 3, GreenStalk number 3. Also again, an original 5 tiers. So for these peppers here, we are going to kind of divide them by size. I know, at least the Brazilian ones, those two are going to be the bigger ones, the dedo de moça and the pimenta de cheiro, and the corbate I think also gets a little big, and these guys tend to grow a little smaller, especially those two. Those are very small, so they're gonna definitely go on the top, and this is probably gonna go more in the middle. So let's do the bottom first again. So let's start with tier 4, and on 5 I want to plant 1 of this and 2 of this. So we're gonna do here 2 green ones. I want pimenta de cheiro, so it's a Brazilian name, sorry. This is like a fragrant pepper. That's how I guess the best translation would be. And then I'm gonna do dedo de moça here. Okay, so that's it. I'm not gonna plant any more of this. Those two are out of the thing. I'm gonna do corbate peppers. I wanna plant 2 corbate. So I wanna plant on top of the pimenta de cheiro because this one is green. I think it will look nice together. So let's do corbate. I don't know, I think it's corbate. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. If anybody knows, let me know in the comment sections. 2 of those. Let's do a Scotch bonnet in here. I want to do 2 Scotch bonnets, so I'm gonna do another Scotch bonnet here. So here, let's do, this is gonna be red. Let's do this arari, this yellow one. And I'm gonna do I'll just call malagueta so it's easier to understand. And then up here, on top of this one, I'm gonna do a biquinho. I wanna do another biquinho here. And let's do a yellow one here. I gotta have some space for other things too, like basil and stuff, so 3 is fine. I could also have interchanged this with basil if you wanted to. I'm doing the same thing as I did in the other one because I'm thinking about the shade. So I might put basil in the back. I definitely want to grow basil. But let's put, since I did all my peppers already, I think I'm going to do 1 malagueta here only, and then the top here is gonna be flower. So I wanna do a marigold, a dwarf marigold for pest control. Actually, I might do a marigold here too. Let's put a marigold in the back. Interchange. One, no, not in here, and maybe 1 more marigold here. Just so, marigold. And then I'll do a basil here for also pest control and smell. Let's do a basil over here. Another basil here. Maybe I'll do some green onions also for pest control in here. And I'll leave this open, leave this open, leave this open. All number 4s are gonna be open. Maybe this one has 3 because this in the bottom, I got a little bit more shade in the bottom, so I think that's good. But that's it, our pepper planter is planned. I'm gonna put this on the side. I'm also starting my pepper plants soon, seeds, because even though they like to go out late in May, they take a very long time to grow. So I'm thinking to either do it in the last week of February or the first week of March. Probably the first week of March, I'll start my peppers. And then we'll keep it inside all the way into May. They take a long time. They have a bit of a slow grower in the beginning. And then we're now going to talk about doing another turn of planting on the GreenStalk. So after I harvest my broccoli and I harvest my cauliflower, I don't want to kind of leave those planters without anything in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to amend it. I'm going to add some worm castings or maybe some all-purpose fertilizer. If I can find some local compost, some compost. And then I'm gonna go ahead and plant some bush beans. So the bush beans are super quick to grow. Most of these guys here say that they're going to mature in about 60 days. So let's say even though these guys take a little bit longer to mature, they stay on my planters all the way into July. If I plant this in July, I still have August and September to harvest. My frost doesn't come all the way into November, so even potentially they could stay doing well all the way into October. Or I could take them out and plant something else in October. Oops, sorry. Which I have definitely done it before, but I think I want to give it a break to these planters. I intensely plant them all the time. So we're gonna see how these bush beans are gonna do, and then by then we'll decide what we're gonna do in the fall. But I love to have a harvest of bush beans in the late summer. So here are the varieties that I'm planning to direct sow. I'm not starting them inside or anything. Bean likes to be direct sow right after I harvest my brassicas, my cauliflower, kale. Kale might stay in there, my cauliflower, my beets, and my broccoli. I wanted to make the planter colorful. I did talk about these varieties on my video with that I talked about all my seeds. So this is the lavender variety, purple, light purple lavender. Then you can see the colors of these ones here also. But I decided to throw out another yellow just because GreenStalk also sent me this. And it's supposed to do really good, this golden rush, gold rush. So I might still do two in there just to try it out. But I have grown this before and they're very tasty. So I'm definitely growing this again. So those are the ones that I'm going to grow after the broccoli. I'm not going to go over and plant all over again. But let's say I do like planning and I wanted to have it all sorted out. I would then go to another of these extra tiers in here and probably write like late summer planting or succession planting after my GreenStalk number 2 is done or whatever. So I'll do the same number like GreenStalk number 2, late summer planting, and then I would just put the beans, all the varieties that I want to grow in there. I want to be more flexible with that, so I know the seeds that I'm growing, those guys. And I'm just going to look at the colors and stick the seeds and the pockets, and that's going to be it. But there's an option for you too to also do that if you want to plan it out and use these extra tiers on the GreenStalk Journal too. It's good to have things that will make you remember, because many times I think I'll remember things and then when it's the next season, I forget. I have to be going through my pictures on my phone, but then I can just use this next season and see all of my notes or how everything did. I think an important thing to add here too is talk about pests, you know, like, oh, in June I noticed that I had a lot of aphids in my garden or something like this, so you can kind of plan around that too the next year. But all extra information that you add just going to help you plan a better garden for the year ahead. So recording things is always really good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm wishing best of luck for you planting your GreenStalks this year and also in the growing season. I hope your GreenStalks get very prolific and abundant and give you lots and lots of harvests like mine do here. I feel very fortunate to have 3 of them and be able to garden with them here on my rental backyard. Hopefully they will do well for you too. If you're curious to see how I started all of the seeds in here, I have a video that I'll link right here to the side and you can watch next. Thank you so much again. I hope you're having a great day and I'll see you next time.